There you go.
Hey everyone, good morning, Devro sports fans. We are live and we're just getting busy. I know we're a little behind on the scheduling, on the timing. We just had a meeting, but look, all good things are heading towards Devro sports. Big things are coming. But look, today's episode are the big changes. And speaking of big changes in Philly sports, before I talk about the Phillies and before I talk NBA and NHL playoffs, two legend radio hosts will not be with us going forward. One, Ray Dininger, and one, Mikey Miss. And see, with why am I talking about this is because we for many of us, we get in this business because we listen to these guys and man, we're like, man, I want to do what they're doing. I like what they said. So like I said, that's where we're at. That's where we're at as a group and fan base. So like I said, Mike, I'll start with you. What is it? Is it Ray Dininger or is it Mike Miss? What is it? Well, you got to turn your audio down there, bud.
Hold on, buddy. Was just sharing it. Um, Actually, for me, believe it or not, was my early teenage years. We used to get a break in school that we had about maybe half hour, 45 minutes, and it was always after 10 in the morning. And
Mm-hmm.
I started listening to two guys by the name of Glenn Macnow and Jody McDonald. They were called the
Mm-hmm.
Mac and Mac Show, which, by the way, they actually just reunited them because of Ray Didinger retiring.
Right.
Uh, I actually had to work yesterday, my normal job in life, and it
Mm-hmm.
was pretty cool to hear them guys back together talking. And yeah, between them, Tony Bruno, uh, Angelo Cataldi, Mikey Miss, the Cuz,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to name a few. I know here in Philly, we have two sports talk stations. You
Right.
got WIP, and then you got the Fanatic. Um, and I think it was pretty weird, man. They kind of did. If you remember the original Fanatic when they first started, and when WIP was running when they first started, it seems like they just kind of traded some guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, John Marks and Joe DeCamera go over to WIP, and you had Mike Missinelli and Anthony Gargano go over there.
Yes.
So. But
And
yeah, I liked all them guys, man. There's not too many guys that I don't like. When you turn the radio on, you listen to hear what they have to say, and I it kind of helps us really. You know, certain people make you feel like that you certain people the way they present themselves, you
right.
would think that you could probably like sit at a bar and just talk sports with them.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because, like I said, for me, it's been 10 years. I really got to know Mikey Miss, not just behind the mic, outside, off air, and got to really know the guy. For me, but he's been like I've been listening to him. And you guys, I know this guy's been listening to me calling into him for so many years, and I just said I really want to do so.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. So he kind of he kind of inspired me to do this and want to become, in the Devros, and create Devros Sports. I was like, wow, he's like to me, he's, as you and I would know in the wrestling business, guys you look up to. And, Mikey Misses was one of those guys I analyzed coming into the game. And I said, man, I just want to, do that. And, just being honest, and all those other things. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of people don't like when he talks politics. I've heard of that so many times. But when he talks sports, I mean, he's got your ear. He's got your ear when he talks.
Yeah, he definitely does that. So does Ray Didinger, man. Like, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who like redefined himself over the years. I mean, the guy was a great writer for the Daily News. What's up, Izzy? Um, what's going on?
Uh,
What's up, Junior?
Now there goes my favorite Laro. There goes my favorite one.
It's Laro. Stop saying Laro.
I have a Dutch
Oh,
accent.
I'm gonna reach out and smack you. I swear.
Yeah.
But you know what's really funny, Pat?
When the same thing when he says program, he says program.
Right. Here's the thing, Pat. Though, remember when we were working for the same company in wrestling? Like, how many times did me and you used to sit in the back? We would get into debates in the back, like talking about sports, and now here we are doing this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think it's funny.
It's funny. So how about you, John? Is there someone in sports? I mean, about Ray Diddy?
Of course. So my loyalty is obviously to WIP. I go back way further than you guys. You were in your little tidy whities,
Right.
But I started listening to WIP on 6:10 a.m. before it was a sports show,
Right.
and Howard Eskin only had like an hour segment on there for talking about sports. The rest of the time, it was talk radio. There was no sports. So then when Tom Brookshire came along and all those guys, but for me, Ray Didinger and Glenn Macnow was the best show on WIP. Those guys, like, they felt like, I don't know, you just felt like it was like a family setting when you listened to them. It was very like it relaxed your mind listening to those guys talk. And same thing with Glenn. I remember listening to Mac and Mac when they used to do their show, and those guys, they were great together. And it's just, Ray Didinger's, that's why he's called the Godfather, man.
Yeah.
He's like, he knows everything, and just, I'm going to miss him talking about the Eagles because it's almost like losing Merrill Reese.
Yeah.
And when the day comes when Merrill Reese goes, that's going to be the saddest day. It's going to be the as sad as it was when Harry Callis passed.
Yes.
You know, because Harry Callis, I remember nights when I was a little kid listening to the radio of the Phillies game with Harry Callis. Just, it's those voices, man. It's something about those voices.
Yes. Our man Al Safir, I haven't talked to him in a good while. He's checking into the program. He's saying that long time no, hey fellas, long time no talk. You could listen to Al every Wednesday night at 9:30 on Edge of Philly Sports. Now listen, now with you, like you said, you guys were talking about, it's the voices and all those things, and like it's funny because I can remember the first time I met Mikey Miss for thank you again, Izzy. I can remember the first time I met Mikey Miss. I met him at Buffalo Wild Wings, and like I said, for a few years during that time in the early of this decade, I was listening to him, and I was like, wow, like I want to know what this guy looks like, and he's an intelligent dude. And then when I finally got to meet him, man, it just, me and him just we collectively became like a big family, and like I said, man, it just, for me, like I said, he's one of my favorites. Like I said, like you were talking about, you had the Howard Eskins, and you have and Mike, you were saying the cause.
See,
and
have
Angelo
the one
Vitale.
thing I agree with Pat is like Mike Missinelli. I had a love-hate relationship with that dude because he's great when he's sports, but when he mixed in the politics, it just drove me.
Yeah,
it just drove me nuts.
That's
why I had to stop listening. I couldn't take it because I just wanted to hear about sports. I didn't want to hear about his view. That's
right. Our man Ryan Lee had the newest member of Dev Sports. He said, not sure why exactly it's going through 975's head management to replace him with Hunter Brody. Hey, listen, Ryan, I totally agree with you. And look, and there's no disrespect to Hunter Brody. We had him on the show before. We had him on the Solar Squad. Great dude, and he's very knowledgeable. I'm pretty sure he'll do fine. So I can't really knock them for on.
Well, Pat, me and you talked about this off air. You already know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Missinelli is probably going to come back and be. He's probably going to take Angelo. Yeah, he's going to take Angelo's spot.
Yeah, but him and Eskin don't get along.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter though. I mean,
money's money. Talk is cheap.
They've been looking for ways to bring him back over there, and I think, like I said, the original plan was it was supposed to be the dude that I'm drawing a blank on his name. The guy who does the morning show over at the Fanatic.
John Kincaid.
Kincaid was the original. He was the original guy who was supposed to take Angelo's spot, but then he went there.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that though.
I mean, dude, he's they got the fan base.
That show without Angelo is dead weight. That show.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Listen to it, man. I've listened to it I listen every morning, and I'll tell you
without
what.
Angelo on that show, and it's just Rhea and Al. It's to me, it's
right.
I like Keith Jones. I think Keith Jones brings a lot to the table on that show when he's there. I like I like some of the guys that they have in. Like, if we're talking about sports talk, Angelo has kind of been the same shtick for the last 25 years. He really has. Agree. But I mean, I like some of the supporting cast. Al is great. If you listen to Al Morgani, especially when he talks hockey, He's awesome. You know,
Right.
we got a comment from Al, so go ahead and read it there, Pat.
Yeah, so I hear he goes, I think Broads has a bigger YouTube following and a younger fan base that makes him a successor, which is true. He does, and like I said, Hunter is pretty good. I've listened to Hunter a few times. Like I said, I wish him nothing but the best. But like I said, these are like we were just talking about. These are like the legends of the game, if you will. Him, Angelo, and like to your point, Mike. Angelo's stick to me, like I listen to guys who can spit fast. Like if you say something that's like you're spitting facts, I'm all ears on you. If you say something just to be silly and all this other, like I feel like you were just saying, and not against Angelo Catelli, like I think it's more of a shtick over there. I think it's just,
it's a shtick everywhere, Pat. I mean, the same thing with the Cuz. You know, the Cuz that's a shtick. You know, Mike Francesca situation there from Ryan. I don't think it's more of a Mike Francesa thing, because Francesa, if you ever listen to that dude, holy cow, dude! Like I don't know how he got a national show. Oh my god!
Yeah, well, here goes Brian Flannery. Farzad was supposed to take the spot when he went to 975, and he was supposed to burn bridges with Catelli. Yeah, and look, I got nothing for Farzad. Another guy we had.
Farzad was a good one too. I feel like,
but he's doing his own thing now.
Yeah,
he's happy with that. And it's just him. You know, he's just and he's been doing this now for a few years, just him by himself. Al Safir agrees with you. He loves Jonesy. I love Jonesy.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who's really good, Pat, as a supporting cast.
Wow.
I love, like I said, Angelo's on his way out, but I love the supporting cast. I love Keith Jones, Ruben Amaro. If you ever sit there, listen when Ruben Amaro's on, guy's really intelligent, knows the ins and outs of the games. And I also like when they have Billy King on there, too.
Right.
Billy King, I feel that makes it go a long way. And I think if they add Missinelli to that and take away, Missinelli's not going to be as goofy as Angie. Like, he's not going to be worried about, chicks and stuff like that. He's going to talk sports. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a lot better. But don't be surprised if you see him. What I think Cataldi's up in September or October. Right. Don't be surprised you see Mike Missinelli popping up right after
even though Cataldi, he can be annoying at sometimes. I'm still gonna miss it because that's what I grew up with. You know what I mean? I've always listened to WIP the most, and and ever since I've been listening to sports radio, it's again the familiar voice. You had that for all those years, and then.
And I agree with Junior here, except for that last part, because I'm not a fan of the Herd, Shannon Sharp, none of those guys.
Shannon Sharp is just a hot take.
Yeah.
He just says stuff.
Listen, all them shows now on ESPN, the Herd,
right?
They're all hot takes,
right? And if you notice, they always try and get the
they're a shtick,
right? And they try and get, of course, they take their shots at Philly fans. So the Philly fans.
Dude, Shannon Sharp, hold on. Shannon Sharp, just like when we had Wentz as our quarterback, was all over the Eagles. Oh, this is my, that's my team. Walking to them, all that stuff. Now all of a sudden, the Eagles can't catch the Cowboys.
Oh, it's my good buddy AB from Sanbu First. I talk with him a lot. He says Kincaid over 94. Kincaid over WIP.
I like to be honest with you. I thought Kincaid was better when he was in Atlanta. I used to listen to him when he was down in Atlanta because
I don't think he's anything that great. I mean, I hear him on
he's bland. Cooney makes that show. Cooney makes that show every morning. Like
him and the bro and Pat are pretty good. Like they are really good.
Like I like Kincaid, I do, but he's nothing special.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But like I said, man, I really enjoy those guys in the morning. But like I said,
who's your favorite? Throughout the day? Who's your favorite to listen to? Like, take away the morning shows. Obviously, you like Missinelli in the afternoon. John, who do you like?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like was it Joe DeCamero.
Joe DeCamero, John Ritchie?
Yeah, John Ritchie. I like that show.
See, I don't mind that show. My favorite show of the whole day is.
But also, I do like Ike Reese and
that's
John
my show. Ike Reese and John
like
Marks, man. I like that show. I really do. Man, they get into it, especially when the Eagles win and Ike gets on there and does that long victory.
But I like Joe DiCamio because like some of the stuff he does make you
but
laugh.
you know what? Talk about sticks. Like, come on, dude. He calls himself the Hammer, Pat, and I think you weigh more than him.
Right. Well, listen, I've hung out with him a few times too.
Take a bath with him too.
Hey, listen, it depends if the time's right. So like I said, I'm excited for. It's going to be weird because, like I said, you're not going to listen to Mike Missinelli heading home. It's going to be Hunter Brody, Tyrone Johnson, and Ricky Pitalico.
I like Ricky Pitalico.
I do too.
Yeah, and I like Ricky because when he's on the Phillies, he keeps it straight. He doesn't sugarcoat anything.
If they stink, he's like,
if they're sucking up the joint, he'll straight out tell you.
Right.
He doesn't try to sugarcoat, make excuses. That's why I like him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pitalico, but like I said, you just got to be knowledgeable and spit facts. Like, believe it or not, and I know this is not, no one has him on his radar. I like Andrew Saltunis, and I've hung out with him at a bar. He's given me major shout outs. We've hung out. He
knows his stuff, especially with the Flyers, man. He knows his stuff with the Flyers.
Andrew Saltunis, I know he's a young cat, but he knows his stuff. And, that, like I said, to me, is as long as you're knowledgeable and you're spitting facts, like I like Anthony. I like everybody on 975. Like, as long as you're spitting facts, and even I'll give like Johnson, I'll give DeCamera one because the one thing he said to me, it always stood out in my mind.
Oh, wait, real quick, another great show that they took off of 97.5. It was when Rob Ellis was with
Harry Mays.
Harry Mays. That was a great show. That was a great show, and they never should have taken that show.
Yeah,
well, you know why? They actually took their show to Jacob Media. That's where their show is at now.
Well, with M&A time. But yeah, there's been times like I had to pull my work truck over it because I was in tears laughing at some of the stuff they would say. And
that was a great show.
That was a fantastic show. I used to enjoy.
Dude, DeCamera is a funny dude though. Like, and like hearing him and Richie, like the first time I heard Richie on air, I thought he was stoned.
Richie's great. John Richie.
I thought he was stoned because he does. He sounds like he comes all kind of stoned. But I mean, their show is pretty funny. Like I love Jimmy Seltzer.
Well, you know what it is with Richie? Isn't he from the West Coast? He's got that late. What's that?
No, Sean Kilrain.
No, isn't Richie from the West Coast?
No, he's from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, he is. I thought he's got. To me, he's got that California like laid back type.
No, he's like I said, he's a cool dude, man. Like I said, I've hung out with DeCamera a few times. Like I said, I've hung out with all of those cats, man. Like I said, I hung out with Pat Egan for a good bit. I've hung out, like I said, a majority of them, man.
Go to McDonald's, cool if you ever get a chance to meet him. I met him at Harris. They were doing some type of race thing, and me and my wife went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I'm standing there, and I hear that voice, and I turned over, and he's standing like 5 feet away from me. So I walked over. I was like, "Hey, Jody," I was like, "Can we get a pic?" And he was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" Started talking to him. Real down to earth guy, man. Real down to earth guy.
Yeah. So here goes our man Paul Spencer checking into the program from Boss Network. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Yo, Paulie.
So again, check him out. He has a show. It's We Know Boys at 215. You can check him out at 9 o'clock with Matt Meyer, our man to Tower Power. And you can check out our man Mike here on Thursday nights at Talking 4 for 4. Like I said, we're everywhere.
Watch the damn show.
Yes. I was, as a matter of fact, I was just a guest on Mike's show. It's weird. Me and Mike like playing roles reversed. You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm still the dominant one either which way. He patches.
Pat likes the other person to be dominant.
Hey, look, whether it costs a good time, I'm all for it. But anyways, guys, like I said, sports radio is going to be changed, but something else changed too this week. Something, a Phillies manager.
See, I'm going in the hat, right?
Yeah.
I'm going in the hat.
It's funny. They, it looked like just last week the team was on the downtrend. They just couldn't find a way to win. You look, tough times, extreme measures called for extreme situations, and it was time to let the guy go. Even though he just came off a win, it was time to let Girardi go. And Girardi, you look, man, you had two shots. thing for 2 years now. You just missed the playoffs, and to me that's just and to everyone's that's not good enough. And now you have this season that you were supposed to go here, and now you're completely flattered out. You weren't good at home. You have a bunch of guys who can hit the ball. Mike, you and I talked about this on Thursday. You have a bunch of guys who can hit the ball, and nothing was panning out. And nothing.
Ain't it funny? Ain't it funny though, Pat? Stop and think about it. They let him go, and all of a sudden, these guys that like JT Realmuto, all of a sudden, has got a 5-game hitting streak going.
Well, it's
Castellanos is starting to rip the ball again. Schwarber's going deep. Bryce has been hot the whole year. But I'll tell you what, though, I've been impressed with some of these young guys too. Like Bryson Stott's had a pretty good couple of games coming up. The Mick coming back yesterday, he's got a couple hits.
Hey, these last 3 games, the offense has woken up. It's but I have some sad news though. We're going for the sweep today, but
don't you mush it.
But the mush will be in the building today.
No,
so I'm hoping we get the sweep.
Well, they got a good chance. I mean, right now, Anaheim's rolling. Like they lost before they got here, they lost 9 in a row, and Mike Trout's Mike. Well, it was 9 before they got here. Now it's up to 11.
Right. You're right.
So, and Mike Trout's 0 for 25. That's not going to last long.
This is the time where the Phillies gotta start to make their peak because they can't keep doing this, win a couple and then lose 10. I mean, if they want a shot at saving the season, now's the time.
There's plenty of time left. There really is. I've been saying it all year, man. There's plenty of time.
I know we have the factor of the Mets usually collapsing, so that might be on our side.
Here's the thing. Mets almost blew that game last night. They almost blew that game last night, and they lost Friday night. And guess who they're playing? The Dodgers.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You guys were all New York this, New York that. No. I'm telling you, the Mets are still the Mets.
Well, like I said, though, Mike, you can't deny, though, they're still sitting at the top of the division. They
got off to a good
with
start.
the Yankees, too.
Who cares about the Yankees? I love you, Pat, but you look at New York and you go, oh, well, this New York team's doing good. Dude, the Rangers sucked for a decade. It's about time they started doing something. Right. The Yankees, what have the Yankees done?
Right. Like I said, look, they're playing.
They haven't done nothing.
Look, the Yankees are playing good. The Mets are good. And they got and then we're going to get into this a little later. The Rangers are playing excellent.
Like I said, about time. I mean, give me 10 years. Give me 10 years. I'll get to a cup final.
50 years and we can't do anything. Okay?
Dude, you have to do it. Pat, pump your brakes. You really think for 1 second they're going to beat Colorado?
Yes.
I will bet you anything you want to bet.
Colorado will sandwich.
Sandwich, you're on.
Yeah, no,
you're buying me a 2-footer.
Pat likes them 2-footers.
Hey, watch it. Our man Sean Kellerin checks in. What's up, guys? Romeo came up big. Handle the Angels 10 straight losses. And look, and which they did, and JT Realmuto had not 1, not 2, but 3 doubles yesterday. That Johan Camargo had 2 hits, 2 hits, RBIs. But who's been big so far in this little series has been our man Kyle Schwarber. First pitch, on Friday night, hit a bomber, and then
almost got one last night.
Yeah, and then yesterday hit it right, and it just missed it. So again,
hold on. Hey Pat, can we give our pitchers some love here?
Yes.
Eflin went 8 innings Friday night. Last night, Zach Wheeler goes 6 innings. Got what do you have? Almost 10 strikeouts last night.
Right. He had like I said, 10 strikeouts. Yes. I'm sorry. Wheeler had 9. Zach Wheeler had 6. I mean, like I said, they responded to their team. They responded to their team big time, and that's what you needed. So, like I said, you need that dub, and that's what happened. They turned it around. It was desperate times because this in hockey. If you get a ringer manager, you still play like crap. You're next to go. Hey, how do you know if a guy's checking in on the thing here? But anyway,
click on the comments.
No. As far as the adding to the guy into the show, as I send the link. Sorry about that, everyone.
Right down here, invite.
Okay, So, anyways, sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah, Pat's learning on the job.
No, if he
Yes.
No, I'm saying he would if he when he comes in the link, he'll be right here.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm trying to produce and do this at the same time. But look, we got
Let's get this Dr. Dre on.
yeah, I'm getting my Dr. Dre on. So look, anyway, you can't do this on live radio, or live TV on the program. So we got a couple checking in. We got the Homer checking in with AB. That's good, Smitty. What's the
You just call him a homer?
the Homer?
Leave Smitty alone.
He's all right, dude. I just like busting his chops. He says, "What's up?" Smitty says, "What's up, Lieb?"
Yeah, buddy.
But anyway, enough of the Homer. So, like I said, our man Tom Kelly from the Passing Out Fanatics checking in. You catch
What's
him
up,
every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. He's checking in saying, "What's up, fellas?"
Matt, let me ask you a question. Did you see the catch that Nick Maton made Friday night? I mean, he ended up injuring his shoulder. He sprained his shoulder, but I thought that kid
here we
had a
are.
hell of a catch.
We got somebody checking in. Here we go. We got him here. Adam's in the street. Yeah. How do you? Oh, there we are. Jamie, what's up, brother?
Good morning, guys. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
having me.
Good morning.
Jamie, well, I'm not used to see you not, your face painted and your hair's done well. You look like, I don't know, you look like Batman without the cape. You look like Bruce Wayne here. So it's something I'm gonna get used to here. But listen, Jamie, like I said, you and I hung out at the game about a couple of weeks ago. So look, Jamie, how do we go from here from this Phillies team? They were quickly responded to a manager getting released, and now they're playing good baseball. What's your take on all this?
That there's a big sigh of relief from both Joe Girardi and the whole team. I feel like when you heard Joe Girardi talk about being fired on the MLB Network, that he sounded relieved. Like it was like he sounded better than I've heard him in any press conference that I've heard over the last 2 years. And I felt like the team, I mean, obviously we can only play who we can play. And the Angels came into a buzzsaw, and they're down, they've lost 8 in a row. They're really struggling. The Angels, I feel like, are really constructed the exact same way the Phillies are. Not a lot of good pitching, but a lot of good bats. And those bats were winning a lot of games very early in the season because the Angels were playing a lot of dreck, and now that they are in this 10-game losing streak right now, but that's because the last 2 games, the Phillies, I felt like had a huge sigh of relief that they are no longer under the manager guise of Joe Girardi. And I felt like Joe Girardi was the exact same way. He was just like, wow, thank God I'm done with that. And it's just he wished them well. He took some responsibility, and and now it's time for the Phillies to start to breathe a little bit. I mean, I don't know that this guy is the interim coach. I think he's going to win games in spite, for spite, just because I think the team just feels a little bit more relaxed and they're a lot looser. But realistically, I don't know that this guy's going to be the answer either. I want to see some fire out of management. I want to be able to see a manager get booted from a game. That's what I want to see. I want somebody to go out there and defend his players. And I didn't feel like Girardi did that.
Yeah, he did it maybe once this whole season so far. But like you said, it's just not good enough. Like I said, you had a team that was just it was mediocre at best. And it was we had high expectations as we do every year on the all season. And it was just, it wasn't happening this year. And if you're not playing well at home and at a hitter's ballpark, we can't have that. If you're going out in LA and you're crushing it and you're coming here and not, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's time for a change.
Well,
and then you can't compete with the Mets, and the Mets own you, and it was at the right time. It was time to move on.
To me, it seemed like Girardi was just going through the motions. That's what I took from him. It was just, he was just managing, but was just going through, didn't really care too much, and it kind of looked like he was hoping he was going to get fired.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like he said, listening to him on MLB Network, he sounded better than he has all
Yeah.
season long. And I feel like, that it takes a certain personality
Yeah.
to play and manage and coach in Philadelphia.
And
if you don't have that,
I was honestly disappointed because I was excited when we got him. I was like, great, we finally have a baseball guy. I was happy to get rid of Kapler, and I was like, and it's a shame because I really thought he was going to do good here, but for some reason it just didn't work.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many different reasons on why that didn't happen. I like I said, when he was coaching up in New York, if he wasn't doing well, there's so many teams in New York that you can get lost in the shuffle. When you are in Philadelphia, you're under a much larger microscope. More than anywhere else in this country, we take on the personalities of our teams. And, like as I just mentioned to somebody else, if the Eagles lose on Sunday, on Monday, the whole city's production goes down. And it's the same way with the Phillies. If the Phillies are having a bad year, the summer just seems to drag on. When they're playing well, all of a sudden things are going way too fast for us. It's like we're just having a better time of things. We do take on the personalities of our teams. And that can be said more in Philadelphia than it can really anywhere else in the country. And because of that, we're a much smarter fan base. We know what we're talking about, and the media has to relay that. So he didn't have anywhere to go. There was no hiding because there isn't anything to take our attention away. And I feel that was a little too much for Girardi. He needs to be in a spot where it's not, where winning and losing isn't absolutely everything. And I feel like that he can get that maybe in Minnesota. He's going to wind up, landing on his feet somewhere. He's going to wind up going somewhere and probably doing pretty well. Probably go back to being a manager the way he's used to, and maybe even get back to being a playoff caliber manager. I just don't think it was ever going to be in Philly.
Yeah, you know what? Now, like you're talking about this too, Jamie. He, like you said, he opened up a little bit to MLB Network and and all that stuff. It's now look, he's probably going to just get a network job, get it, sit somewhere on the booth whether it's TBS or ESPN, and get one of those jobs where it's just easier for him. And now there's no pressure on him, and like you said, dealing with the Philly media is tough, and it could be it's tough for a spot like that. So now it's like I said, all the pressure's off, and just want to get away from everything. So, but I got our man Dennis checking into the program, a member of our guys here on Gobbler Sports. He said, I believe 100% it wasn't his fault. I believe it should have been fire of the bullpen, or sorry, bullpen coaches. Now, listen, like I said, it's more of everything. Like, look, and some of it does go to Girardi, but the fundamentals of the defense, the hitting, the lineup work, some offers, the bullpen was horrible. I mean, if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't the fielding, it was the bullpen. If it wasn't the bullpen, it was the lineup, stinking up the joint. It was.
I mean, I can agree a little bit with what Dennis is saying there, but what was 100% his fault is the team taking on his personality. And I feel that was across the board, that his personality really was what made this team what it was. And his personality was blah, so the team was blah. I think that was part of, again, we have too small of a sample size, but 17 runs in 2 games, making some defensive plays. Obviously, Nick, unfortunately, I think it's only a bruise, or it's just, it's not going to keep him out for too long, which is a shame because he came in here on fire, and did well for the 3 games that he was up here. I think that losing Girardi is one of the better things that they have done right now. I think they needed to make the change. They needed to do it when they did, because you didn't want to possibly go against the Angels and sweep the Angels because they're in such a disarray right now. And then say, well, we just swept a series and now we got to keep them some for longer. And I just didn't think that was possible. I think you needed to make the move. I think that the Angels are the perfect team to have done it against,
Yes.
because now you can go and get 3 wins, or hopefully get 3 wins. Let's see if they can get it today, and then go up against a really good Milwaukee team in Milwaukee with some hot bats, and maybe be able to have that carryover.
Yeah, and Mike.
You brought up Robbie Thompson earlier about not knowing. I actually was listening to Jody McDonald yesterday, and he said, because I wanted Dusty Woffman. I thought Dusty Woffman has, earned the right to take over. I know a few people said, he hasn't done nothing, but I do remember he did win a championship in the Phillies organization. He's actually one of the winningest managers in the organization. But the one thing I heard about that Jody brought up yesterday was that this was the right move, because he's not talking about Robbie Thompson, that he's not like Girardi. He's like Girardi in some ways, but he will defend his players more than that. And when it comes to baseball, Jody's dad is like, he's a former scout. Guy was still scouting as of a couple of years ago, and he's in his 90s. But he literally said, that was a good move for the Phillies to promote Robbie Thompson. He said this team will play a lot better now under him than they did for Girardi. So this is what I'm looking to see.
Well, and I think that the reason why that they didn't go with Woffman's been here for like 20 some years. And
right.
When you are an interim coach, you are expected to win. And if this team decided not to win, it's hard to get rid of somebody who's been around for 20 some years. And even though he's an interim coach, you're still, if this team does not perform, you typically let the interim coach go. You may hire him somewhere in the organization, but he's typically not on the field anymore. So I like the fact that they are protecting Woffman. Now, does that mean he doesn't deserve to have tried to become manager? I don't know that. I'm not intimate with the team like that in terms of their coaches, but I do believe that there was some protection there, that they didn't want to offer that to him in that type of role. Hey, listen, he could interview for the job, and they may give him the job, as a regular head coach. But if you're an interim coach, typically that interim means that after the interim is done, you're going to, be replaced. And typically when you're replaced, that means everybody's replaced.
Yeah, because Thompson came here with Gabe, so he was kind of a carryover. Girardi just kept him on because they had worked together in New York. He was a Yankees bench coach up there. But I understand what you're saying, though, because Woffman does have kind of ties to some of these young players because he's had them either at AAA or AA because he's managed both places. So that's why, like, Pat, you saw, like, Schmitty was going at me like, oh, well, what does he want? But, like, he was key in their development and getting them to the dance. And that's what I tried to make my argument about. But I'm hoping they give Dusty a shot because, like I said, some of these guys came up with him. Like, he wanted to hang what the front office did on him. And I'm like, he can only manage the players that he has.
Well,
a lot of them did make the major league roster.
Right. And here goes a question from our man Brian. He goes, serious question. When is Melton going to get to understand the pulse of this city? It's a bare wire. It's ever since Charlie. And look, and I agree with that. Look, they haven't had a guy since, but Charlie it's not like Charlie didn't have a stack of talent right there too. He had Ryan Howard. He had Jimmy Rollins, who's probably going to be the greatest shortstop in the Phillies history, and Chase Utley. And a great probably the greatest second. I mean, that core right there, and you had Cole Hamels, and you had the aces. I mean, those guys made everything easier for them. So, like I said, man, but back to this current team, they just need to figure it out and sooner because, like I said, Bryce Harper's, prime is just getting waysided. So you need to have something going for them, and you need to start getting on this, thing now. Like, it irks me every time I see Roman Quinn in the outfield or playing in the lineup. It just irks me. I'm like, this guy's an automatic out. Like it is what it is. I mean, granted, like a few weeks back, matter of fact, that game I met you at, Jamie, that was probably his best baseball because he came up clutch. But other than that, one game out of 162 ain't going to cut it.
Well, I think with Harper, they really have a 2 to 3 year window to get a World Series here with him because Otherwise, I think we're going to end up wasting it, and I could see him eventually wanting to be possibly traded. So they really need to get this figured out within either this season or the next couple, or else we're never going to win with them.
I don't know that that's the case. I mean, yeah, people get, as they get older and stuff like that, he's swinging right now like he did in the middle towards the end of last season. So the fact that he can't throw the ball and the fact that they've got,
we're missing him in the field, though.
We are a little bit, obviously, but this team isn't constructed to win games 5-4 and 6-5. They're constructed to win games 10-8 and 12-10. That's what I expect from this team. This team needs to be able to score a lot of runs to be able to win games, because they doubled down on the batting over the pitching, because they were told to win now. I mean, Dombrowski was told to win now. Let's not try to, we got a lot of money in payroll, so how do you get this team to be a winner right now? Well, you're going to need to do it with the bats, because the pitching is so direct. We got good starting pitching, but if we were to get into the playoffs, if the playoffs were to start right now and we were in it, I don't know how we can get maybe past the wild card game, but we're not going to get past the series. Not with five starters. We'd have to go down to a 3-man rotation, put 2 of our starters in the bullpen, and pull up a couple of guys, and hopefully that would be enough, and be able to go on a 3-man rotation to be able to get through any series. I don't think that, when it gets to that time, that's what you'll have to do to be able to win anything in baseball. You're not going to be able to go with a 5-man rotation, because we just don't have the back end to be able to do that. And we can't expect every starter to go 8-9 innings every game.
Right. Just to answer Brian's question, just to name a few, Rhys Hoskins, Tommy, the first baseman that was with us. He plays for the Giants now. He played first base. Tommy, it was him, Roman Quinn. Just to name a few, Darren Ruff. I think he got it up into to the majors. So you can just pretty much look at his, just Google his name, man. It'll tell you all the players that he's managed. So he had about a good, 7-8 guys that he helped get up into the, to move along.
Right. So, listen, Jamie, I got one more question before I let you go here. And like I said, I appreciate all your positivity. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're on an Eagles game, Flyers game, Sixers game, Union game. I mean, you're always bringing good positivity to all the stadiums here, and I appreciate everything that you do. So when you're going down to the ball game today, what's going to be your meal today? I'm like I said, the 3 of us guys here, we like to eat. We're professional slobs. So have you enjoyed the peanut butter and jelly cheeseburger?
No. I would never eat a peanut butter and jelly cheeseburger.
No, you gotta try it. Gotta try it.
I'm sorry. So anytime I travel anywhere, the cheeseburger is the staple, and I don't ever eat it with ketchup. I want an egg on top of it. It's just the way that I like to eat my burgers. There's no ketchup. I want an egg, and that's how I rate the restaurant that I go to, because most of the time I spend time in bars. So the bar better have a burger, and they better have an egg to be on top of that burger, and it better be good, or else they're going to get a poor rating. When I go to the stadium, though, I'm wearing makeup. It's hard to eat with that makeup on, so I can only eat like finger food.
I know firsthand.
Yeah, so I got to be able to, kind of just make sure it gets in my mouth, or else it gets all over. And I can't use napkins the way normal people use napkins, because I got face paint on. So I typically try not to eat, but I have a hot dog. I like the sausage. Yeah, the sausage ones that they have cooking out in the kiosks, not necessarily in the stands. I've done, I'm a Campos guy. I like Tony Luke's, but I'm a Campos guy. The Manco, I'm not that type of pizza guy. I don't like the thin crust. I like a little bit thicker crust. I like more dough. I'm more of a pretzel guy. You know what I mean? So I like the dough rather than the thin crust. But that doesn't mean that it's not good. So I typically stick to chicken fingers and fries and try to make it as easy that way for me. but that's not necessarily what everybody else is doing. Everybody else likes. I'm not going to ever try a peanut butter and jelly burger.
Right.
You don't know what you're missing.
I want to try it.
Like I said, when I first got down there and I saw peanut butter and jelly, cheeseburger, I thought there was it's jalapeno jelly. So right there, it just it threw me through a loophole.
He didn't get it. He wussed out and got the jalapeno. No jelly, wuss.
Crab fries are fine because I can still put a fry in my mouth without it touching anything else. So the crab fries are fine. I just
what sandwich I missed down there? The Schmitter. That was a great sandwich, and they took it away.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why they took it away either.
Because I think they put where the Schmitter was. I think they have that boardwalk.
It's the burger place.
Yeah, that's what they put. But the Schmitter was a great sandwich.
I agree.
But look, anytime, Jamie, if you ever want to, I don't know if you're in the game, but this guy right here we call him the human mush.
No, I am the mush.
He is the mush. I mean, he said the Eagles are going to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Listen, let me just give him a rundown. So when the Yankees, so I brought Boston a World Series. I bet somebody when the Yankees were up 3-0 against the Red Sox back in 03, 04, whenever it was. And what do you think happened? The Red Sox won. And so then my other claim to fame is Smarty Jones. I didn't bet the first two races. I bet the third race. What happened?
So I went up there. I'll tell you a little story about Smarty Jones. I actually purchased a ticket after the fact on both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, a winning ticket. So somebody sold it to me. I bought it for a little bit over what they would have won, and for both of those matches. And I went up there to buy a winning ticket because I was going to frame it. I wasn't even going to cash these things. I was going to frame those tickets and say, and give a picture of Smarty Jones. And of course, he lost by a nose up there, but I was there firsthand to see that. And it was the first time I'd ever gone to the Belmont. First time I've ever really been to a horse race.
You can thank me for that one.
I mean, Jamie, this guy.
No, seriously, anything I say, the opposite. The other night, I go over to my buddy's house, and I was like, Golden State's got this game. What do you know? The minute after I say that, they friggin' collapsed and Boston.
Jamie, I never met somebody like this. I mean, the Sixers are going to go. Sixers are going to win the championship. That never happened. So whatever he touches turns to mush.
You want to make money? Just listen
to my just shade you is what you're saying, right?
Yes. Just stay away from him, and you'll be all right.
I would say that I'm not a gambler at all.
If I say put it on black, you put it on red.
Right.
There we go. I'm game with that. I can play. So.
But Jamie, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Anytime you want to hang out with us, Sunday, 9 a.m., we're here. We'll hang out with you and go Phils today.
Hey, let's try to get 4 wins in a row. Yeah. I met the guy who's been going to every Angels.
I'm going to be in the building there today. So
no.
I hope I don't mush them.
No.
Well, just don't bet them.
No.
If he says it, they're going to win. They're going to lose. If he just says it, you need duct tape immediately to zip them up, and how you might have the Philly fanatic. Give him a couple shots or something. Something. Just get him away from the stadium. If you see this guy walk, shut it down. But
definitely check me out. I'll be out in left or left center, so you can definitely find me.
All right, we'll
standing out there. I'll be the guy with the mohawk.
All right, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem, guys. Have a great show.
You too.
All right, say it.
Wow, that was cool. That was cool, man. Guys, that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Jamie. You catch him, like I said, you catch him at every Phillies game. So we got a couple people checking in the podcast. We got the Homer, Ryan Smith checking in. Yeah, thanks, Smitty. How you doing with that Shake Milton jersey? Yeah, really knows his basketball knowledge. Anyway, we got a couple people checking up here. Phillies just lost. I agree. I totally agree with that. So look, things are changing here. But listen, we could sit here and talk about Phillies all day long. But I don't know if you guys caught it last night. We had NHL action that's been popping. And Mike, did you see any of the playoffs last night? Did you catch the Oilers and the Colorado game?
I was with the wife, so yes. Oh, Pat, definitely this right here. We definitely got to do this. This is
a Philly road trip. Yeah. A dollar dog night. Hey, look, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the wiener. So
yeah, we know that. You like anything with wiener?
Yes.
Yeah. We have brought that up about doing a Devereaux road trip. That's the road trip that we could do. The wife even already signed off.
Mike, we're doing the one in the fall. We're doing.
I can't do it.
Notre Dame and the Colts.
I know. I can't do it. It's my wife's birthday is the 20th.
Well,
can't do
it.
Postpone, dude. I'm married. Can't postpone that.
I'm kidding.
No, Pat. Listen, man. Definitely. I think. Damn, man. I lost my train of thought already. I had a squirrel moment.
Yeah. We're talking about the game here. Talking about Colorado.
Oh, the Avalanche, dude. We got to bet on. They're winning the whole thing.
Yeah, you think so?
They're winning the whole thing. Dude, they are just – dude, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing to Edmonton.
Right.
Like, they just – I'm sorry. The Rangers ain't slowing them down, bro.
Yo, first of all –
and that's even if the Rangers even win. That's even if the Rangers even win that series.
Yeah, like I said, I saw a big game yesterday, Colorado and the Oilers. They were going back and forth. I mean, the speed was up, but going back and forth. And then they said, Colorado immediately answered back, and then they went up 3-2. And then when they hit that empty netter by McLeod, the game was over. The game was over.
I told you. Listen, I told you for Edmonton to stay in, man, it's got to be Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. I think I haven't. To me, it just seems like, just watch. I just watched like Draisaitl's to me, he's disappeared.
Right. Yeah, and that's true. But like you and I have talked about though, the Oilers have an issue, and it's their goaltending, and it's going to be their goaltending.
It's bad, dude. Listen, it's bad, dude. When they're trying to trade for Martin Jones, remember?
Right. Wow, I mean, like I said,
my boy Payne checking in. What's up, Stevie? Yeah, man. I told you right there, that. I still think it's going to be Tampa and Colorado. I don't think the Rangers are going to get there, man.
Dude, I don't know if you and I got the stats right here. What's that kid, Zalberchak or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
he has 9 goals and 8 assists in this whole playoff series so far. In this whole play, and not just in the play, the whole since right. He's could be a potential superstar for the New York Rangers. I mean, the way he executes, shoots it, with the puck and all that stuff.
But Pat, listen too though, you gotta learn to scale back on some of that stuff because I've seen players in the past get hot in a playoff series, and you're thinking they're the next coming of Gretzky, and then they fall off, man. Like, people can get hot in the playoffs, man. I mean, God, look at Danny Briere. Danny Briere, he would have little spurts in the season, but come playoff time, dude, that dude was an MVP.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, he's playing very good hockey. I mean, the way he,
well, the Rangers are playing good. They're playing good as a team, but
they got that coach from. He was just on with Vegas, and now he's on over here, and he's, like I said, he's making things happen. And the Rangers are very, very dangerous. If they get
they're going to be good for a while, man. They're going to be good. They're going to be at the top of our division, for a while, man, because they're built nice, man. Like, you got to tip your cap, man. They did it, but they also sucked for a decade.
Yeah,
when you suck for a decade, man,
wow.
Paul's got his money on the Rangers. Paul, you're going to be mad, bro. Just whatever you do, don't take them against the Avs. They might have a shot against Tampa, but they're not beating the Avs. The Avs are, I'm telling you, the Avs are winning the cup.
Right,
that's
right.
If there is a juggernaut in the NHL, that's the Colorado Avalanche.
I got to be honest with you. This is the first time I'm seeing John Cooper looks like he's been out coached. I got to be honest with you. this is the first time I'm seeing this happen. This is the first time I'm seeing him look like he's been out coached.
Yeah, but you also got to realize too, though, Tampa's fat and happy, bro. They won the last 2 cups. You know what I mean? I just don't. I think it's going to be a long series. Like, a lot of people are thinking the Rangers are going to win in like 5 or 5.
No. The Rangers only need one more, and they're sending them home.
What is it? 3-1? Was it 3-0?
3-0. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 2-1. I'm sorry.
No, it's they just no them and who else? And like I said,
Colorado's 3-0. Colorado's 3-0.
Right. So again, it might be Colorado versus New York. And look,
my son about his Giants.
Other than him being a New Yorker, he's a good kid, though. I gotta give.
Hey, look, listen, the Giants got nowhere to go but up. So I mean, eventually they should be getting better.
Right.
I like Dable though.
Here goes our man with AB. Rangers have been to the finals more recent than the Flyers. Yeah, that's true. And with AV, with AB with the AV. So again, it's crazy. Our man, the Jones.
No, they were. Dude, when they went to the finals, it wasn't with AV. They went to the final. Oh yeah, wait. They lost 2 finals. They went with AV and lost to Vancouver, and then when AV. I believe it was AV. Was AV the coach of Vancouver when they beat the Rangers? I think so. Because they had Tortorella.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's screaming and ranting and raving that they want Tortorella here. I'm like, the guy you just let go was beat the guy that you want to bring here for the finals.
But no, it's crazy. I checked into the Out of the Box podcast yesterday and listened to that guy Rob Hefner talk, and again another of head coaching vacancy spots open out there. So what's going to be more attractive for a coach? Is it going to want to go to Vegas or come to Philly? And
Vegas got more talent.
Right, they got the more talent. You can enjoy the Strip.
80-degree weather all year.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only boobies you get to look over here are gritties. So. Which is not too fun. But anyway.
Well, Joe Sullivan thinks Tampa wins today. I think Tampa is going to go. Thoughts before I head to church. Celtics +3 versus Warriors. Much love from the Bucks. What's up, Paulie? All right. I like the Celtics today too.
Yeah. So
I told you, Pat. I picked when we were talking. I said Celtics, man.
Well, here goes the problem though. Like, okay. And I have this thing that's going to happen. The Rangers are going to win the cup, and the Celtics are going to win.
You're on crack.
And the Celtics
I love you. You're on crack.
Well, listen.
You're not winning the cup.
Let's get to the last and but not least part of the show. The NBA Finals going to happen tonight. Game 2.
Celtics
was the other night a fluke that the Celtics came over won? Is it because John the Bush said yes, or is this team going to be legit and take this?
It's Celtics. Al freaking Horford. That
wow.
dude
And
win a ring.
I gotta give to Al Horford. The Warriors were up until like I said, they were up for till 4 minutes, 3 minutes left, in that game. And then they, both the Celtics just hung in there, and the Splash Brothers were just, draining 3-point shots. Boom, 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 boom.
I think game 1, man. I think the Celtics sent a message to the Warriors like, hey, we can hang with you guys, and we can shoot from the perimeter. And another thing too, if you started watching towards the end of that game too, their defense around. You watch their defense, man.
Oh, man.
They were really starting to hunker down on Draymond and on Steph, man. I mean, dude, Steph is going to get his points. That dude can shoot from the upper deck.
Yes, yes. He got 34 yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day. And he got, Andre Wiggins, he put out 20. And you got, like I said, Clay, he put out 15. But
Joe
like I
thinks
said,
the Warriors win the night, but Boston wins the series. I agree with Joe.
Doubleheader. I like that. You got Jalen, like I said, Jalen Brown came up, clutch. You had Jalen Brown. You had Al Horford put up 26. Marcus Smart put up 18. Like I said, man, Jason Tatum didn't really do that much, and yet they played very, very well.
Yeah, I like them, man. Like I said, I'm like today, man. I'm gonna be I'm gonna have to do a split screen or something. So
right. And then you got this guy. He's talking Santa Boo on good idea, Smitty. Yeah, good. Come on. Anyway,
you just dismissing Smitty, man. That's not right.
yeah, I just like breaking his chops. We're like brothers. Anyway, but Al Horford is a floor general, and you can see they play for this guy. And I saw like I get like the meme that came out like he's the Nick Foles. If he goes anywhere outside of this Boston, he can't play. But when he plays for Boston, he's something else.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Look at it, man. He goes anywhere else, dude. He's falling all over the place. Can't tie his shoes right. He gets in Boston, dude. All of a sudden, he can't miss.
Right, and like I said,
It's probably he's more comfortable there.
Yeah, like I said, Boston had a really good ball moment, and like I said, they were very, very good. Like I said, they played very, very well. And like I said, they hung in as much as like I said, Boston. I mean, as much as Golden State was dropping threes. Like I said, Boston was hanging in there through that whole ride, and they didn't quit.
Well, I still think at the end of the day, though, man, the Celtics are going to be the one hanging that banner. I really do. It just the way that they played towards the end of the year and the way that they've been playing in these playoffs, they're going to be tough to beat, man. They're going to be tough to beat. It's going to be tough to get 4 on them.
Right. It is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They are going to be tough to beat. Like I said, they're going to be tough to beat. And like I said, I think the Celtics got this in 6. I'll say 6.
Yeah, I'm right around you. I actually, I would love to see them win it at home, but
right.
Smart is one mistake away from costing us the game. Yeah, that's true, Stevie.
Yeah, what's he from Boston?
Smart. Yeah, that's my buddy Steve from Boston. So he's he got us play a little bit better, man. But like I said, I like the Celtics in the series. I told you, when it got down to the final, what was it when the Sixers were still in the last round? I said, the team most likely everybody was picking Milwaukee, and I was like, I said the Celtics are the team you got to watch out for. I said they can go on and win the finals. I think me and Joe were the only ones that were looking at the Celtics like they can go to the finals. Not only can they go, they can win it. So
right.
I'd like to see them win it, though. I mean, if the Sixers can't win it, I don't. The Warriors had their looks. We'll say it's been a while since Boston won it. So let them add another banner up there in the Garden.
Right. So, anyways, listen, we're about to wrap this show up here. For me, Pat Bernard, for John.
Do your food of the day.
I'm about to get there, Mike Laro. So again, game time. I don't know if you're going to go Phillies game. I don't know if you want to go the doubleheader of the finals or the semi-pro cup game. What's the meal of the day?
I haven't really decided on it yet, but I'm probably going to do Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy Joe's is a very underrated pick. I like that. I like a good Sloppy Joe sandwich. You know what I mean? I like that too. I want to go, but I'm going to go pasta because it's pasta Sunday. So that's what I usually do.
Dude, you're going to turn into a pasta.
Yes, I am. I got the belly.
Dude, you got to get away from the carbs, man. Got to get away from the carbs.
Hey, listen, and Moni keeps on cooking like this. You know what I mean? I can't stop it. So,
dude, you're going to be 400 pounds.
No, that's why they made it. That's why I'm glad I work in the heat. You know what I mean? Because and you've seen it. All I do is drive around and eat. So anyway, for me, Mike, like I said, the Soli, like I said, we got big things coming up here for Denver Sports. Really big things are in the works. And I can't wait for everyone who's chimed in as far as the Out of Box Sports with Paul Spencer, AB from Santa Boo, and Smitty. No, I'm only messing with Smitty. Smitty's going to keep crying though. Thanks for checking in, and guys, have a great morning.
Have a good one.
See ya. Leave. Wait, how do you leave? Leave this. Oh, right here, right? And
yeah. No, here, watch. I'll do it.
Excuse me. Like I said.
Yeah, it's a show that never ends. Why?
Oh my God! Just be thankful you didn't let out a fart.
Here, something's wrong. Was it not? Oh, here we go. Now hit that. Leave.